please?
Clayton Skimper.
All right. How did you see the world created?
I see the world created kind of as a combination between both kind of what the biblical sense is of 7 days, and then I guess sort of in the concept of a Big Bang Theory, where we all started as one big glob, and then slowly everything kind of swirls around and gets uncreated.
Okay.
So I guess my theory is I still say God is the reason for the big glob even existing.
Mm-hmm.
So the light and dark, I would say, is the separation of kind of when, he sort of put everything into motion, got the world spinning. We created land and water because of solid separation, the way things are going to kind of separate as this starts spinning.
Okay.
You'll have all the planets, stuff like that. And then as things kind of, were swirling around and started to go from there, that's as the days were being created. So, when we're making animals, that's about the time where single-cell organisms turn into something a little bit more. They all start changing, and then that's, that day. And then as people evolved and came from, I would say I'd get thrown off about the point where if we decided to come from, apes or something like that, I still think because of where we stand, with our mindset and mentalities and personalities, that it was still, if he says he created us, then he created us and kind of meant for that to happen. So I'll go with the Adam and Eve,
So would you say we're constantly evolving?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. All right. How do you see human beings?
I would say human beings are born of a sinful nature. They want to do right, and I think there is good in every individual. The downfall of mankind is when you take multiple individuals and put them together, and that's where I think you get the majority of evil in the world.
Okay.
So.
Cool. And then how, for yourself, do you determine right and wrong?
Partially on what was kind of the way you're raised and brought up. Being told, that's good, that's evil, this is God, this is the devil. But then kind of working, I work for the fire service, and there are plenty of guys that I work with that are atheists, have no belief in God, never believed that existed. When you die, you turn to dust, and that is it.
Yeah.
Yet they're the ones that are still out there working hard to save people's lives and doing good things just because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with spirituality. So if that can exist in them, then there's just something inside of you that says it's what you're supposed to do, and it gives you that, you get the warm fuzzies.
Yeah. Okay.
So
what, if you don't mind me asking, what was your background? Like, where did you grow up?
I grew up in a Christian Reformed church.
Okay.
Went to a Christian school from K through high school, and then kind of went off and had some hard times with religion. Mother being diagnosed with cancer, my father died of cancer. Kind of didn't want anything to do with God at that point. Said that's not really fair, and then realized even through all the things where I went, there's still a moment where I had to come back because I knew it was real. You can't fake this stuff.
Definitely.
So.
Cool. Well, how do you see life after death?
I definitely believe in a heaven and hell. Now, whether it's really a whole bunch of buildings and, golden paved roads and we're all sitting around, singing, and if that's what I think heaven is like, I'm not too sure. I'll say this, the last moment right before my father passed, and he was diabetic, blood sugar's going down, you start to lose all your functions, you can't see anymore, he wasn't talking. But there was a moment where, and he was always kind of like a cowboy at heart, where he kind of, sort of came back. And we're like, well, there was no real scientific reason for it.
Yeah.
And kind of looks at me and my mom and says, I see a barn. can I go to the barn? We're like, there's a barn? What are you talking about? There's a barn. And then we're like, he's like, yeah, there's horses. And hey, I think that's my dad. And then his dad had passed away a few months before that. So he said, yeah, go to the barn. And there he goes. So it makes me believe there might be something in heaven that sort of is like adapted to what you would like it to be like. That would be your heaven. That's your happy place.
Mm-hmm.
And it might fit to that.
Yeah.
So, don't know.
Yeah. Thank you for
find
sharing.
out.
Yeah. Do you have a question for me? You can turn it on.
Let's see. I would say, out of just sheer curiosity, what do you think happens after you die?
For me, I think there is a heaven or hell, and I'm not really sure how I feel if it's Revelation is like figurative or literal, but I think most of it is literal. And like you said, I think heaven is, they say that there's going to be like a new earth that turns into heaven, and I think that same way. I love singing, I love drawing. I think those are the abilities God's given me.
Right.
And so if that brings glory to him, that I would think in heaven that the abilities God's given us are what we'll use to glorify him there.
Nice.
So that would be my take on it.
Okay, here's a crazier question.
All right, go for it.
1, do you believe in the rapture?
Ooh.
And 2, if you are taken, can you be alive and as a human in heaven, or is it just your spirit?
Just your spirit. Those are hard questions. Let's see. I do believe there's going to be a rapture at some point. I don't know when.
Well, if you did, let me know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do believe in a rapture, but I'm not really sure if it's post-tribulation or after. And what was, okay, repeat the other question.
And then, so if you're being taken up to heaven, can you be human and be in heaven?
I don't think so. I think it's just your spirit or your soul. I really hope it's not my human body. I
Right.
hope it's just my spirit and soul, honestly.
Amen, sister. Amen.
But, maybe that's just a hope of mine, but we'll see.
Cool. Right on.
Thank you.
Yep.